Hey everybody, this is Spam, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about the upcoming Elseworlds episode crossover event that's going to happen in the Arrowverse on CW coming up in December. So the upcoming episode is going to be a crossover between, I believe, Supergirl, Arrow, and The Flash. So I don't know if DC's Legend of Tomorrow is going to be in it. I'm pretty sure they're not because I don't believe I've seen them yet. I've kind of fallen off with them personally. I love the characters, I love the idea, but the way they tackle it, I'm not a huge fan of. But I am pretty excited about this Elseworlds event that's coming up in December. The crossovers have, to me, been very interesting, and I'm a huge fan of Elseworlds. I mean, what can I say? I grew up reading comics myself. My dad has been throwing comics in my face since before I could read, and some of my earliest memories are just staring at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics and Superman comics, and just making up my own story because I couldn't read. And even now, sometimes I make up my own story. So I just wanted to give a rundown of Elseworlds for those of you out there who don't know what Elseworlds is, and maybe you've seen some of the screenshots they have going on right now. And what you might be seeing is Arrow, Oliver Queen wearing a Flash costume, and Barry Allen Flash is wearing a Green Arrow costume, and then you have a black suited Superman and a normal red, yellow, blue Superman. Elseworlds started out in the 90s. It was a way to just go out of continuity and just do whatever you want with the characters. The first Elseworld started in the early 90s, and it was Gotham by Gaslight. That's the first official Elseworld title. It was set during Jack the Ripper era, and Batman was hunting down Jack the Ripper. Not my favorite, but it's kind of long for me. I did enjoy it. Batman Elseworlds tend to be a little bit too wordy for me, and sometimes the art isn't what I enjoy. For me, the art in a book can totally throw off a story for me, and sometimes I'll go for a weaker story and better art, just because I enjoy a good take on the characters visually. So I have spread out here my top Elseworld comics. It's definitely not a complete list because there are so many Elseworlds. Elseworlds ran from early 90s all the way to about 2003, 2004, and then they dropped the title. Just another heads up, so DC Comics is doing a new, what they call Black Label, and they're going to be resubmitting some of the older Elseworlds back under Black Label, I think. I don't know if they're going to be new takes or not. But I'm pretty excited to see that because, as I said, I'm a huge Elseworlds fan, and Black Label seems to be like a darker take on it. I don't know if anybody's read the new recent White Knight storyline. It's going to let you know, a little spoiler alert. It's a... So, Batman is pretty much obsessed with catching Joker, and Joker realizes this and takes some type of cocktail to make him sane. And once he becomes sane, he realizes the obsession with Batman and how much damage Batman's doing to the city and to the police force and whatnot. And so he goes and makes a task force to catch Batman as the sane Joker. I don't want to tell you what happens at the end. The artwork isn't my favorite, but there are some really good depictions of Batman. I do like alternate costumes a lot, and his alternate costume is really, really interesting. So that's what's going on in the future. Right now, I have all my Elseworlds again, like I said, spread out here. I'm going to pop up a few and tell you if you're interested in watching them. Just keep keep coming. I hope you enjoy it. So as I said, here is my modest collection of Elseworld titles. As you can see, not all of them are bagged and board, and some of them are in pretty rough condition. I am a big comic enthusiast, but I'm not collecting to sell in the future or anything like that. I'm pretty sure because of this current day that they overprint everything, and it's hard to have a very noteworthy comic book unless it ends up there's like a misprint or something like that. But I collect because I love to read, and these are just my childhood right here. And so here are my Elseworld titles. I'm going to start off with Superman's. Because some of them are my favorites, of my favorites, as I said. Like I said, Elseworlds are not in the regular continuity, although some of the titles have been integrated into the normal DC universe continuity at one time or another. For example, Kingdom Come was a big issue done by Alex Ross art. Very beautiful. A very awesome story. It's almost in the future, or set in a distant future, the DC world, where a lot of the heroes have grown old and either retired or had kids, and there's an overpopulation of metahumans, and they're just kids fighting and being disruptive and rowdy and destructive. So Superman's backed out because of a new hero that came along that served justice the way the public wanted it. So Superman thought that he wasn't useful anymore, so he backed out. He comes back because they asked him, and it's awesome. It's a great book. I think you should pick it up. I only have it in hardback right now, and so I don't have it out. But that continuity has been integrated a little bit into regular DC universe, mostly in JSA, and this is all pre 52 and Rebirth and everything like that. Even now, I think you can still see hints of Kingdom Come showing up, but other than that, it's separate continuity. So what you do here, you can do anything you want with it. That's the fun of Elseworlds. You can, like in this one right here, this is Superman Last Son of Earth. This was a two-parter, and then they came out with a third issue, Last Stand on Krypton, afterwards. The art in here is gorgeous, and it's amazing. So pretty much in these issues, it deals with, like, what if Superman wasn't Superman? He was Clark Kent, born on Earth, and then, as you can see, Earth was destroyed, and Jonathan and Martha Kent sends Clark into space, what they think is going to orbit Earth, because Earth is about to get hit with an asteroid. And instead of orbiting Earth, after Earth gets hit with the asteroid, the collision or the flyby of the asteroid knocks this orbiting ship with baby Clark in it, into a wormhole which travels to Krypton, and it crashes on Krypton. And this is when a young Jor-El finds baby human Clark and raises him in secrecy. Now, this is the 90s post-Zero Hour, or post-Crisis. Yeah, I think it's post-Infinite Crisis. Version of Krypton, where they have the suits that keep them alive longer, and they are able to, and they're not human contact. They don't have babies, through physical contact. They get matched up, and they get cloned. I think that's kind of how it's going now. It's a similar version to Krypton now. So Clark gets raised by Jor-El, and as he's getting raised, his human body is too frail for the increased gravity of Krypton. So Jor-El, being a scientist, creates a anti-gravity environment for baby human Clark to survive in. And as he progresses in age, he slowly decreases the amount of gravity, or increases the amount of gravity, I should say, excuse me, and which slowly adapts his body strength to Krypton's environment. So as it flashes forward to seeing, 20-year-old, maybe, Clark, renamed Kal-El, to where he's wearing an exosuit. He's no longer in this anti-gravity environment. He's wearing an exosuit that's doing similar to the same thing at its own pace. It's keeping his body stabilized, but it's slowly changing it and letting him adapt. He finds out, he pretty much gets a Green Lantern ring, which is awesome. So Krypton's isolationists. They don't allow other species in. They don't talk to other species, and they're just pretty much, care about Krypton. But Kal-El finds a Green Lantern ring, and through that he saves Krypton from the eventual explosion, and he decides to go back to Earth and find Earth. He finds out that he's not Kryptonian, he's human. So he goes back to Earth, and that's the whole thing there. So yeah, that is my complete spiel. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I hope you actually got some information. If not, I hope there is some type of mixing of actual Elseworlds in this upcoming episode of the crossover event between Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl, and I'm excited to see it. Their Arrow for me has dropped off a little bit, and so has last seasons of Flash. I'm excited to see this new take with XS, even though I'm not really too pleased about her being the daughter, the direct daughter, and her hints at the the Legionnaires, even though it's only 30 years in the future, if that, probably 20 actually. It's kind of weird, but that's Flash, that's CW's continuity is a little bit mixed. They pick and choose what they want to do, but we'll see. Let me know, comment below what you guys think. Please give me any type of criticisms on if I botched. I know I did a lot of botching. These are my favorites. I haven't read them all in a long time. I actually just brought them out of my comic book box when I saw this episode of Elseworlds coming up, and it got me excited. But I'm also not going to have too high of hopes because it doesn't look like it's going to be any direct Elseworlds that I've personally read before. But like I said, we'll see. And like I said, comment below what you guys think. Criticism, comments. Please if you guys enjoyed this, and subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. See you later.